For Amy Adams, making American Hustle was one of the worst experiences she's ever had. Everyone knows director David O. Russell has a bit of a reputation. He's a brilliant filmmaker, sure, but he's also extremely volatile. Remember the stories of him nearly coming to blows with George Clooney on Three Kings?
But the conflict with Clooney did get some attention. Do you blame yourself for that? Was it exaggerated in the press?
Oh, I think I've talked about it so much and it's such old news, and I hate to even rehash it. But I think, of course I went to him, and of course you try everything you can to try to make it as good as it can.
And that viral video of him screaming at Lily Tomlin on I Heart Huckabees.
I'm just trying to f***ing help you. Do you understand me?
No, you're
I'm being a f***ing collaborator. I was trying to help you figure out
You're
Hey, bitch, I'm not here to be f***ing yelled at. I worked on this f***ing thing for 3 years, not to have some f***ing yell at me.
Those incidents gave him a notorious rep in Hollywood. Still, in recent years, he delivered hit after hit. And people were going, well, he has achieved so much success in Hollywood, so maybe he has mellowed down over the years. But nope. When Amy worked with David, she was not expecting what was coming. Yes, she worked with passionate directors before, but when she worked with David, she was going, maybe I should have taken another job. 'Cause what the hell, right?
I hate my job.
So from day one on American Hustle, David employs an unorthodox, high-intensity directing style. While most directors would go, can you please do this? Or maybe you can do it like that. David would go, oh, what are you doing? Not like that. Essentially screaming at his actors. The cameras would roll and David would be right there next to the actors, shouting directions in real time. At this point, Amy was trying to stay focused, but David's intensity was jarring. Even I was surprised on American Hustle, because on his previous film Silver Linings Playbook, he had developed this wild, crazy way of working with Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence, and it was mania. I was like, wow.
Well, my first question to you is, David O. Russell seems to have some secret sauce to his movies. And
Remember the scene where Amy's character Sydney is supposed to slap Bradley Cooper's character? Well, David was literally yelling into the scene to amp up the energy. He was pacing around the actors, practically controlling their every move with shouts. He would talk and shout through every scene, screaming instructions at people while they worked. In one take, when Amy was getting ready to smack Bradley, David was yelling, "Hit him! Hit him! Hit him! Harder! 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 Really give it to him this time." At this point, the crew members are looking at each other going, this is not what I signed up for. But Amy does her best to stay in character, but eventually the aggression begins to get to her. Between takes, Amy's hands begin trembling. She's trying to remain professional, but David's barrage of shouted critiques and demands is wearing her down. Now Amy is not just worried for herself, she's also very disturbed seeing others treated harshly. When one of the crew members decided to move a prop in the wrong manner, David goes, "Hey you idiot! What are you doing?" Right? David snapped at the crew member, and this made Amy feel extremely uncomfortable. I also don't like to see other people treated badly. It's not okay with me. But on this set, that's becoming a daily sight. David's temper flares often. One minute he's happy and having a good time, and the next he's berating someone for not getting things perfect. So at this point, the entire crew is walking on eggshells, unsure of when the next explosion might occur. Now as the shoot goes on, the situation escalates as David is not letting up. If anything, he's growing even more intense. Now Amy, who is pouring her heart and soul into this role, finds herself dreading to come to work every day. And one afternoon, the tension hits a boiling point. At this point, Sydney, Amy's character, and Irving, Christian Bale, are having an emotional confrontation. The camera is rolling, Amy is mid-scene delivering a heated line, and suddenly David cuts in. He approaches her, voice rising, and he's saying, "No, no, no, do it again." Amy then resets, does the scene again, but still David is not satisfied. In fact, David is screaming so much that his face is going red, practically vibrating with frustration. And then he goes off ranting in front of everyone about the energy not being right. He's raising his voice at her, saying things like, "Come on Amy, you can do this better. I need it real. Give me more." Are you even listening? Now the words are coming out harsh, slicing through Amy's confidence, and as David is screaming, the people on the set are looking at each other like, I'm so glad I'm not in Amy's position right now, but tomorrow's another day.
Your time's coming!
So now Amy, who has been bottling up her feelings for weeks, now begins to tear up. He did make me cry. He was hard on me, that's for sure. It was a lot. I was really just devastated on set. I mean, not every day, but most days. Now David, who's noticing that Amy is crying, does not stop going in on Amy. Amy sniffles, trying to pull herself together and continue the scene, but David is still fuming, pacing like a caged tiger. But luckily Amy had a guardian angel. Enter Christian Bale. So Christian Bale, someone who's no stranger to on-set intensity.
What the f*** are you doing? Are you professional or not?
Steps in between Amy and David. He literally positions himself as a buffer right in David's path. So David, startled, glares at Christian, and Christian, calm but firm, meets the director's eyes. He then goes, "Hey David, that's enough." According to an email that leaked later, Christian got right up in David's face to defend Amy. In fact, the leaked Sony email from journalist Jonathan Alter described it vividly. According to the email, Christian Bale got right in David's face and told him to stop acting like an asshole. So at this point, everybody's holding their breath. Amy's wiping her eyes, watching this in surprise. And for a second, David looks like he might explode, and Christian too, because David is known for not backing down. I mean, this is the same guy who once challenged George Clooney to punch him, but instead of trying to berate Christian as well, David backs down. And that's probably because he knows Christian is not somebody that you want to mess with.
I'm Batman.
So after this, Christian checks on Amy. Amy says she's okay, and the cast and crew take an impromptu break to breathe and take in what just happened. So when speaking on the incident, Christian said, "I did what I felt was appropriate," in a very Irv style, referencing his con man character who's a negotiator. If I can have some sense of understanding of where it's coming from, then I do tend to attempt to be a mediator. So after the big blow up, the production continues, but the mood on set has fundamentally changed. On the inside, Amy is deeply hurt and stressed by what happened. And each morning when she arrives on set, there's a knot in her stomach wondering, will David yell at me? Am I going to get yelled at again today? And she essentially had to complete her job under a cloud of anxiety. Now occasionally, David still has his outbursts. His personality did not transform overnight, but after Christian's intervention, he's a bit more restrained around Amy. Maybe he finally realized that he pushed her too far. Maybe Christian Bale's words really did help. But still, for Amy, the damage was done. I was really just devastated on set.
You do. David creates a lot of energy on his set. I mean, I've worked with amazing directors, and every one of them worked differently, but I think David creates this electricity that is palpable.
Now through all of this, the one thing that kept Amy's composure was her daughter. Life to me is more important than movies. It really taught me how to separate work and home, because I was like, I cannot bring this experience home with me to my daughter. So despite the behind-the-scenes turmoil, American Hustle wrapped filming successfully. In front of press and at premieres, everybody puts on a smile and sells the movie, and when the film comes out, it does extremely well, gaining 10 Oscar nominations, including acting nods for Amy and Christian. So from the outside looking in, that's a win. But those who were there know the ugly truth of what it costs emotionally. Now when she was asked if she'd ever work with David again, this is what she said. Not in the near future. No, I will never say never, but with my daughter being where she's at, unless the role is less damaged and there's a way to mitigate the insanity, then probably not. I just want to be a good mom, you know? So, years later, Amy Adams, ever so gracious, hasn't publicly trashed David or Russell beyond gently acknowledging how tough it was. She seems to have made her peace in the sense of, that was a learning experience, but I'll be fine. On the flip side, David O. Russell has not apologized to Amy publicly, and seeing as the movie came out about 12 years ago, that's probably never going to happen. In the end, the Amy Adams versus David O. Russell saga has become a cautionary tale. It's a stark reminder that no amount of Hollywood success justifies abusing your colleagues. It's also a testament to Amy's strength and professionalism, because she still delivered an incredible performance under those conditions. She even got an Oscar nod for that role, but as friends would probably say, no job is worth that kind of treatment. Anyway, that's it for the video. Let me know what you would have done if you were Amy. See you in the next video.